So, Derby have injuries to a range of number 9s, but they're in the market for another one. Who could that be, might you ask? And a target that has been spoken about in the media recently is Michael Smith. Now, let's meet him. So, as I just mentioned, we're going to be talking in this video all about Michael Smith. I've done previous videos about Charlie Savage and Corey Blackett-Taylor, two other reported targets of the club. Blackett-Taylor is nearly over the line. On the 22nd of January, he has not quite signed. So if you want to check that video out, it'll be linked in the corner as we speak. So let's get into this video all about Michael Smith. If you're enjoying all this Derby County and Formula 1 content that's come over the past week, make sure you hit that subscribe button and keep all up to date with all my content. So, Michael Smith is a 32-year-old striker forward who is currently playing at Sheffield Wednesday. His current contract expires in 2025, so personally I can't see this being a permanent deal. I think it'll be a loan signing. The rumour from the club and from the post-match interviews at the weekend was that we have submitted an offer for a striker, and many believe that striker is Michael Smith. Paul Warne and Smith have worked together previously at Rotherham United. Michael Smith enjoyed one of his best times in football during that period, so he might be looking to reinvigorate his career at 32 years old back in League One. So let's talk about Michael Smith's career. He came through at Darlington, had a range of loan moves before moving up the league pyramid. He's had 14 clubs since his debut in 2009-2010 season, where he's most notably played for Charlton, Barnsley, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, he is still at Sheffield Wednesday, but he seems to not be a part of their plans going forward. Since making his debut, he's scored 147 goals, collecting 48 assists since that debut for Darlington back in the 2009-10 season. And obviously, as we all know, he spent time with Warne at Rotherham United, scoring 60 times, assisting 21 in 210 games. He was part of a range of different seasons for them, including promotions and relegations, but is he going to be able to add the firepower that Derby need up front? Now, obviously, Derby have a wide range of strikers. We have numbers up front, but John Jules has only recently returned from injury, and Paul Warne seems to like to play him in behind instead of as that sole number 9. Martin Waghorn, he seems to have been injured more than he's played, despite bursting out with that hat-trick at Peterborough. He hasn't quite been the same. Connor Washington, another player, got injured on international duty. And then obviously you've got James Collins, who is banging form at the moment. And obviously Dejon Brown from the under-21s, who I don't quite think is ready to take that step up. Shall we now take a look at where Michael Smith will fit at Derby County if he is to make the move, and why I think this could be a very, very good signing. So, here is the striker depth. Obviously, I've not put in Dejon Brown. I don't think that he's seen as a main option for Paul Warne, if I'm brutally honest. As much as I think Dejon Brown should be part of the first team squad consistently, especially with Washington and Waghorn out injured, obviously, if you bring in someone with the pedigree and reputation of Michael Smith, he's going to drop down the pecking order. Although it is rumoured that Paul Warne is expecting Dejon Brown to go out on loan this window, and Tony Weston has rejected a loan move. But onto Michael Smith now. Now, I think this would be an absolute incredible signing. It'd be a statement in League One. Obviously, Corey Blackett-Taylor is supposedly on the way. It's the 22nd of January. He's not over the line yet. He's not been announced when I'm recording this video, but he may be during this day. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning. But Michael Smith and Corey Blackett-Taylor, if we bring them both in, it's an excellent, excellent pairing. And Smith just adds that extra bit of firepower up front. When Collins is struggling, chuck in Michael Smith. If, say say it gets to the 60th, 70th minute, Collins is flagging Michael Smith as an option off the bench, or even the other way round, Smith starting and Collins coming off the bench. Even playing them together to bully a back three would not be against something I'd put into the perspective. I think if you can have two bullies up front and then someone like Mendes-Lang or John Jules out wide, even obviously Corey Blackett-Taylor on one side, Mendes-Lang on the other, getting them balls into the box, it could be very, very impressive, and it could be a really good signing for Derby County. So, do I think this deal is going to happen? Now, Paul Warne has expressed in the media recently that he has put an offer in for a striker, someone across the front line, and the belief is that that is Michael Smith. Now, Michael Smith has fell down the pecking order at Sheffield Wednesday for one reason or another, so it could be a deal which works in the best interest for all three parties. Derby need better striker depth, which I think we can all see with our own eyes. Now, Collins has been brilliant this season, but we don't really have a backup. John Jules hasn't really been playing as a striker. Washington and Waghorn are injured. I don't think Warne thinks Dejon Brown's ready yet, so that obviously reduces your striker depth. And at that point, you're then looking at putting Barkhuizen up front or Mendes-Lang up front, and then you're in a bit of struggle with depth. So I think Michael Smith would be excellent to bring in. Obviously, it could be quite an expensive loan deal. With his contract expiring in 2025, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday will want to get rid of him just yet. And obviously, they might see in the summer, if he comes here, scores 10 goals in the second half of the season, then they might be able to get some cash out of selling him, which we probably can't offer at the moment. Obviously, the financial situation at the club, it's getting better from what it once was, and obviously with the rumour of Corey Blackett-Taylor being the first fee-paid transfer since 2021, Kamil Jóźwiak, it's been a long time. So the club is being smart with its money, and obviously there'll be some wage payments if Derby were to get Michael Smith, but I'm not 100% sure what his wages are at Sheffield Wednesday. I can't imagine that they're low for a player of his reputation. There's also been a lot of talk within the fan base about bringing in the right strikers and stuff like that, because obviously Chris Martin, a former Derby County player, was available on a free transfer, I believe, in the summer, and he found himself moving to Bristol Rovers. Now, a lot of people wanted us to bring him back, but for me, I don't quite think Chris Martin fits a Paul Warne system in the way that Michael Smith does. Obviously, Michael Smith, he's played in it previously. Paul Warne knows what he's going to get. He knows the attitude. He knows the ability. He knows that he can score goals, as we all do. So it's one of those where I would rather Paul Warne bring in someone who he's confident he can get the best out of, rather than someone just to appease the fans. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for the recent support on the videos. Let me know down in the comments if you think Michael Smith is going to sign for the club. If he hasn't already, obviously, you know what transfers are like. When this video comes out on the 23rd, he may have already been announced or whatnot. Who knows with Derby County. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel for all of my latest content. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and comment down below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.